Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Certainly hope you all are having a good one. It is a sweltering Thursday here in the Bluegrass State. Heat warning is in effect. It's already 80 degrees with the heat index already. It feels like 87 degrees. It is going to be 95 degrees with the heat index today of 102. If you are within an earshot of my voice in this state, get everything done before 11 a.m. I don't care what it is. Hustle to get it done. It is going to be too effing hot outside for anything else. Okay, moving on. It is July 2nd. We are getting closer and closer to America's birthday, Independence Day, July 4th, which is Saturday, a holiday, a national holiday where we grill out, eat hot dogs, hamburgers, and people like me, we got to work. So I negotiated working this weekend, but I'm off today and tomorrow just to get some things done. So, alrighty. Well, what is everybody talking about? What's up to you? Thank you for being here this morning. We've got a lot to talk about in a way. And in a way, I don't have a ton to talk about because I'm fighting myself on two different tracks here. One track says, told you so. One track is really pushing me like Sophie up there saying, see, yeah, told you so. We told you. And and another track is saying, well, try to make it a teachable moment. So I think as of right now, I'm more in the I told you so mode. I'm going to transition over though. I can feel it. That's why I ran a little bit longer introduction. Like, let me try to transition into the other mode because you're not here to hear me say, I believe you're not here to hear me say, I told you so. I'm going to say it though. But ultimately, that's not why you're here. So you're just going to have to get through it. Now, what I have done is I have dropped the link, my Discord link. That is my Discord link. That's not the 60 frames, no lag. I have dropped my Discord link. And that way you all can come up here and express yourselves. That way because I don't want to speak for you. I'm in my own castle. I speak for myself. When I go to the pharmacy today, after I'm done talking to you all, as soon as I step out on that sidewalk, I go into nobody gives two shits about land. Like that's where you all live as well. So let's talk about something that happened that everybody knew was going to happen, but didn't want it to happen because they're stupid and it happened anyway. Sony is moving to an all-digital future. Now, if you've been following my podcast for the last 5 years, you will remember me saying 4 years ago on Black Friday, I went shopping for some 4K movies, which is, some 4K movies. I couldn't find them. I went to Best Buy. I went to Target. Ended up at Walmart. Walmart was the only one. I even went to Myers. I mean, that's how bad it was. Ended up at Walmart, which itself on Black Friday is a effing mess. But I ended up getting some movies, and that movie, this was a couple years ago, it was called Oppenheimer. But I had to go to Walmart and get like the special edition, And I said that day because as someone who collects physical media, I grew up as a kid in the 70s. We listened to records. So I've grown up with physical media. It's been around since 8-track tapes and things like that. 8-track tapes led to records, which led to CDs, or which led to tapes, which led to CDs, which led to now you have digital things. Napster came along and he created a downloading device that you just go get songs and you download them. And multiple people sued him. Metallica sued him. AC/DC sued him. Dr. Dre sued him to stop him from doing it. But now that's a default format that you all go to. Hence why I say I've learned how to use Spotify. How many of you all, I literally have walked around saying I've learned how to use Spotify. I can put all my songs that I have, over 880 of them are on my Spotify now. I just literally go there, hit add, and it downloads it in real time. Takes seconds. Just poof, then it sequences it for me. So what I am now seeing is what you're seeing happen in hitting people is reality. So remember, somebody popped up on 60 frames no lag and said because they play more games, that gives them more say. But if that were true, then what just happened? If that's true, what just happened? Because they don't care about loyalty. They don't care that you play a bunch of games. These guys actually do believe that that they're cared about. If you're so good at gaming, why are you not being paid to game? Why are you not developing and creating experiences for people if you're so good at gaming? Because if you're really good at something, you'll get paid for it. That's the truth. You will get paid for it. Whereas that you don't get paid for it. You're just a tourist gamer. You're an amateur like everybody else. I mean, everybody is like this. I mean, there are people that get paid to play. They're being paid to play Fortnite and CSGO. And I mean, we know that. We see the tournaments. We see there's tournaments, there's fighting tournaments. There's Madden tournaments. There's MLB The Show has a tournament. There's tournaments. A 2K has tournaments. Those guys and gals get paid to play. They get sponsorships. People get in touch with them and they sponsor them. They fly. What do you kids say? Getting flown out? So there's nobody out here whose opinion matters more than your own, because nobody gives a shit after you step out of your yard on what you're doing anyway. Like, nobody cares. I'm not saying that to be mean. If I know either your mother and father didn't teach you that, but nobody cares about what is going on in your circle. So when I got home yesterday, because all this happened, I was at work. All this is happening and I literally had to do that thing to Twitter where you mute it. I'm seeing people saying that they're going to cancel their PS6. Well, I mean, nobody cares that you're going to cancel something that's not even on market. How do you cancel something you don't even have access to? But what you're seeing is a bunch of blue pill, feminized men having emotional meltdowns, like full scale emotional meltdowns over something that was told to them. They're so stupid. You're so stupid. You didn't see the future coming. I mean, did your balls fall off? What happened to you? Everybody is going digital. Everybody. Yeah, there's a whole retro gaming community. If you go to certain stores, you can find a PS1, a PS2, an old Xbox. I saw a Neo Geo in a store. I mean, they wanted like $2,800 for it, but it's a retro device. I play Mass Effect. Mass Effect came out in 2007. When I play Mass Effect, I'm participating in retro gaming. And so when you're seeing these guys have meltdowns, it's not Sony is one of the leading, and again, they're not stopping production on disc yet. They're just telling everybody 18 months from now, 20 months from now, they will not be producing a bunch of discs. So when Naughty Dog's game Intergalactic comes out, it'll have a disc to it. It's going to have a disc. Okay, now how much is it going to cost? That's different. That's a different story. But it'll have a disc. Wolverine has a disc. So we know that. Now it's a very good chance. I'll take that back. We know Wolverine has a disc. We don't know about God of War. We don't know about God of War. We don't know about Intergalactic. We don't know about the next MLB The Show. MLB The Show, because it's published by multiple people, will more than likely have a disc. They've got multiple publishers. But even I bought Resident Evil 9 digitally. During Days of Play, I just bought Mafia 3 digitally. I think it was like $6. James Bond, however, First Light, I have physically. When I play Madden, when you see me streaming Madden, I'm playing digitally. That's a digital download from EA. I mean, I had it physically, but I got rid of it because it was on Sony's Plus, whatever it was called. I'm like, oh, well, I'll just play it from here. But what you're seeing, these emotional meltdowns, for me, it's funny because we told you all this was going to happen. But you all said to us, Well, we play a bunch of games, therefore what we say matters. And the same people that said that are out here having menstrual cycles right in front of you. Again, this is happening in real time in front of you. It's in my timeline, so I know it's in yours. It's in everybody's timeline. So, okay, I've seen multiple grown-ass men crying over what's going on. Grown-ass men crying. And over something that they were told was going to happen. We're at the end of physical media. I don't like it anymore. We got all these streaming services now. I still remember when Netflix started. All we had was Netflix. That's all we had. There was Netflix, and then ABC came along with Hulu. Now we have all these streaming services. I can look at some of the ones that are just on my smart TV right now. Let me see here. There's HBO Max, there's Prime, there's Disney Plus, Hulu, Sling, Apple TV, YouTube, Peacock. I'm just looking at the ones on my TV. Stars, MGM Plus, WB Games. It's all this stuff here. LG TV, that's what it's called. LG TV, Pluto TV. I didn't even know this stuff existed. Tubi, what the hell is that? The shopping networks. My girlfriend, she'll just watch the shopping network. She streams the shopping network. So it's done. It's over. Sony went ahead and did exactly what Sony needed to do. So let me tell you something else. Do you not understand that Sony also alerted Rockstar months ago they were doing this? Why do you think Rockstar didn't do a physical copy? Did you ever ask yourself why they're not doing it, or did you react to what they did? You should have asked, well, why did they not do a physical copy? It's because the lead platform they're developing for, which is the PlayStation, is not going to have digital game. It's not going to have physical games in another 18 months. They're not going to make them. So why should they produce them? If you're Rockstar Games, why waste the money producing it when you can just use those resources to go elsewhere? And if you don't, I don't want you to believe that they talk to them. You don't have to believe it. So, but that's what happened. You think that went lockstep? Grand Theft Auto comes out. Rockstar Games, who is going to publish the biggest intellectual property, home property in the history of mankind, and I'm not saying that for hyperbole, they already knew Sony was not going to have a physical disc drive for their next console. Rockstar isn't coding for now. They're coding for what? 7 to 10 years from now? Okay, you don't do, no for-profit company does what's best for it right now. They're doing what's best for them 4 to 7 years down the road. And if you don't understand this, Rockstar Games is part of the committee that Sony goes to when they create their hardware for their PlayStations. Rockstar Games, Ubisoft, EA, I forgot the other one. There were 4 big ones that they went to. And they talk to those developers, and then they talk to their developers, and then they try to get them they meet each other. Well, what are you guys going to do? Oh, but what are you guys going to do? Oh, but what are you guys doing? Oh, okay. Well, then Mark Cerny can go ahead and start developing a concept for everybody. The late great Optimus Code talked about this. Again, y'all want you to believe me. Go back and listen to Optimus Code. Rest in peace. So what has happened here is what you're seeing in the meltdowns. Let me tell you what I'm seeing. Is you're seeing reality finally hit these guys. That what they have been telling you has been bullshit. It's been straight bullshit. They do believe that by playing a bunch of games that it makes them special. I don't again, if you're special, then you get paid to do it. Even a whore gets paid to have sex, right? Whores get paid to have sex, and you're saying you're good at something you're not getting paid for. You're stupid. At the end of the day, what you think is important is not important. It's important to you, but it's not important to nobody else. For Sony, it does not care that you play a bunch of games. They don't. I mean, they don't. They want you to. They want you to pay a gazillion hours, but they don't care. They're not going to lose sleep if you don't play games because they have other forms of revenue. They have a $1 billion movie coming out in the next 3 weeks called Spider-Man: Brand New Day. $1 billion movie. They have a $1 billion franchise. So, and are they going to lose customers? Yeah, but you do realize for every one customer that Sony loses, which is perfectly fine, they gain about another 22 customers. So you don't want to lose any customers. I don't care who you are, if you're a for-profit business, that's a legitimate point. If your point to me is going to be, well, who wants to lose customers? Well, nobody. But you know what's better than losing customers? Gaining new ones. So when I said to people, hey, Sony's consoles went up, which everybody could see happen in real time. When we saw Sony services go up, which everybody else saw in real time, why could you not put together logically that Sony's games would go up? Like, why is that such a stretch? And these are questions I'm going to ask you when you come up here. Why is it such a stretch for you? Why is it so hard for you to form a thought that, well, if the hardware is going to go up and the services to that hardware are going to go up, then the software that runs the hardware is going to go up? That's called logic. That is just logic. So what happened? Where's the logical side of your brain? Oh, it's being overridden by this emotional blue pill, get the fuck out of here bullshit nobody cares about. And trust me, nobody, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, nobody cares about what you think. And what has happened to you is you now realize, hey, look, me being loyal, me playing all these games, me spending hours playing these games, it doesn't matter because the future's already set. You're just along for the ride. There's nothing you can do about this except what I said you could do months ago, which is you're going to sit down, you're going to make a decision whether you want to purchase something, and then you're going to either purchase it or you're not. And nobody can, and instead of you all just doing that, you all decided to make this emotional bullshit plea to, well, what else is everybody doing? And nobody cares what the other person. Like, I don't care what you do. Okay, I want you to make better decisions for yourself and your families because that's what matters. Not playing a bunch of games. Okay? Again, if you're playing a bunch of games, that's great. Then why are you not being paid? If you're so good at playing games, why are you not being paid to play? Because you're not being paid to play. So it doesn't matter that you play a bunch of games. As I said before, even a whore gets paid to fuck. So, and you ain't getting no money at all. What kind of hoe are you? You a dumb hoe. That's what you are. You're a dumbass hoe. So, I mean, I put the link in the description for a reason because if you're upset about what they're doing, go ahead. I literally got my headset on. I don't have it turned on. I have to plug it in. I am watching the Discord. And if you are upset about it, come up here and talk about it. Mano y mano, man to man. Don't be scared. I mean, I know generationally you all don't like confrontation, but you getting it this morning. You getting it this morning. That's right, Gorilla. You will own nothing and you will be happy because again, as I said over a week ago, when we gave you ownership, you shit the bed. So you don't get to have ownership anymore. I'm the captain now. You blew it. You had your chance. Generationally, you all were given everything that nobody had. It's called social engineering. We socially engineered you to have everything. And instead of you taking advantage of that and building better bridges and a better world, you all decided to become entitled little pricks. So now the adults have come home and they've taken the keys to the car away. You will never drive again. But again, if you disagree, instead of being a little sorry ass bitch, come on up here. The link is in the description. It's right there. Because what's hitting you is reality. The reality is your world that you thought existed does not exist outside your little. I mean, I don't know if you get up in the morning, does Puff the Magic Dragon wash your balls off? I mean, I don't know. Does Puff the Magic Dragon exist in your world? Because he don't exist in my world, and he definitely wouldn't be washing my balls. So what is going on at your house in the morning that you don't understand reality, that you don't have a say in jack shit? You don't. You never have, because I mean, you never. This stuff is already. This is on automatic, like the Pointer Sisters song back in the day. Let's go to the automatic. Now here's your choice. We'll go back to something I said 5 years ago that has now come true again. Here's what I said was going to happen. I said, quote, there are going to be sentinel events that happen this generation with gaming that's going to separate the gamers from the pussies. I'll say it again, quoting myself. There were going to be sentinel events, and you need to look up what a sentinel event is. There were going to be sentinel events that separated the gamers from these pussies out here. And like I said before, I ain't never seen so many zesty ass. I mean, you got some zesty boys out here. I mean, I can understand why these women are complaining. I mean, you got these dudes want to be women out here complaining constantly. I mean, look, when I go to the store, because I like to walk, you know, I'm on a walking regimen, you know, losing weight, stuff like that, eating better. I don't want to go out there and it's going to be 92 degrees. I'm going to be complaining. But guess what? I understand I got to load down on water before I walk out my house. I got to load up on the water. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm up so early. I got my pure water right here. Yeah, pure water. Two for $3.50. So what happened? So I have a poll up, pause, and it says, have you accepted Sony's new games will be more expensive in the future? 82% are saying yes. So now you're moving into the next reality. Now you're moving in reality. Now you can make a consumer choice. You either are going to be willing to pay more to get your gaming experience with Sony, or you won't. And that's all you ever had to do in the first place. So you're right back to square one, where it's exactly where I told you were going to end up anyway. Like, hey, we're resetting society. You all screwed the pooch. So now you lost the keys to the car, and now you're just back. You're back to very basic decisions, yes or no. A very childlike state that we had to put you guys back in. And I know you don't understand that. So, and that's fine. You don't have to understand it. You just need to recognize what's going on around you. The real world is nobody gives two shits that you play a bunch of games. Nobody cares that you got a bunch of trophies. And because they don't translate to the real world. Now, if Sony were to come out and say, well, if you've got 500 trophies, we'll give you $20 of digital, we'll send you a digital, you can redeem that. I guess that would be the right word, for a digital code of $20 on a purchase in our Sony store. And let's just say the Sony store could be the Sony store. So it could be headphones, it could be earbuds that you guys use, it could be speakers, it could be monitors. You just get the money off, but they don't even do that for you. You got people out here allegedly talking about some kind of loyalty program, which again, okay. There are loyalty programs out there. I don't mind a loyalty program. I use a loyalty program at Speedway. You know, they send me emails of stuff. That's how I got my 2 for $3.50 water. Part of the loyalty program. You go in there, you put in your code, and you put in your what do they call it? You got your rewards code. Yep, here you go. Oh, you can get that for two for $3.50, or you can get 2 for I got a Kit Kat bar for $1. Hadn't had a Kit Kat in years. But loyalty. So I dropped the link, and I find it interesting. Nobody's coming up here. If you're that upset, J Dub is in the house. My bad, Dub. My bad. My bad. Hold on. All right, J Dub, if you're there, you can. Yeah, I can't. Hold on. Let me go over here to my screen here. All right, now say something.
No.
All right. Yeah, we got you.
I mean,
All right. Yeah, man, it's early, man. What you doing up so early in the morning?
it is, man. I'm just getting up, and then I saw the thing, and I said, let me jump in here with Craig.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. How's the weather down there?
Oh man, hot as usual, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I heard that, man. What you got going on? How's your family doing?
Everybody good, man. No complaints. No complaints.
Mm-hmm.
I need some of that Kentucky bourbon from up there.
Oh man, yeah, man.
I need you to send me a pint.
Yeah, I'll take care of that for you. You know, I'll make some moves. I'll make some moves for us. See if I can get you something. Yeah, you want are you a single or double man barrel?
Oh man. Hey man, I try to be single, you know. I try to be single, you know. I'm a married man, but I try to be single. So I'll take a single.
You took the single. Okay, yeah, we'll get to that. Let me get some of that Woodford Reserve down there to you. That's good stuff, right?
Oh
there,
yeah,
yeah. That's we swear.
yeah. I heard.
Yeah, we got that. We got Jim Beam too, as well. But no, I think Woodford, man. Jim Beam, that's a little. Well, the honey, Jim Beam honey. That's really good too, but the straight Jim Beam, even I had trouble with that. But yeah, what's going on? So, what do you think about what Sony did based on the reaction that that you have seen in your timeline? I'm just asking what people have seen in their own time. I was at work yesterday, so I kind of had to get caught up with it this morning about 6:30. I'm like, well, let me see exactly what happened. So, what do you think happened, and why do you think people could not read these tea leaves when it clearly says it 70+% of people are buying everything digitally off the Sony store.
It's a lot of it. Some of it is fake outrage. Some of it is just because it's the news of the day. Some of it's just because it's a knock against Sony. But then others are valid. You know, some people are still physical. You know,
yeah.
Some people still doing it the old way, and they're worried about their past library and stuff like that. And Craig, all I kept thinking about is I remember in the 360 era when we moved to PS4.
Yep.
People kind of said the same thing because there was no backwards compatibility there.
Yeah.
And but now, 15 years later, like, I get it. And then we're talking about, next generation.
Yeah.
When they come out with PS6, it's like, man, it's 2 or 3 generations have passed. Everybody streams movies from, Netflix and HBO Max and everything else. I just think the world has moved away, and I am, not in defense, of it. It's just a numbers game. You can't. I always say this, man. Gamers need to speak with their wallets. Consumers need to speak with their wallets. But it seems like whether you like it or not, consumers have spoken.
Yeah.
I think upwards of 85 to 90% are digital, or buying these games digital.
Oh, is that
GTA?
High? I didn't realize it was that high. Okay.
Rockstar, about to release the biggest game in the world, and their game is digital only, and they sold 50 million copies in one day. So I think for a lot of people, if they want to hold the line and this really outraging them, I think they need to cancel their GTA 6 pre-orders and wait and see if that forces Rockstar to produce a physical copy.
Well, if they've already sold 50 million, do you think it'll fall on deaf ears?
Well, if everybody start canceling their pre-orders, even with Sony, right? Even with Sony making this decision now, if all of a sudden the digital purchases go down and the physical purchases go up, that data shows them the opposite.
Yeah.
It's a data driven thing. I mean, would you just keep 10% or whatever low percentage that is? Would you just keep that around and keep spending millions, if not billions, of dollars producing the medium and just for the few? I don't know, Craig. That's a hard decision, even as a businessman.
Well, and I mean, to me,
You,
Sony alerted. There's just no way Sony didn't alert Rockstar that they were doing this. Because I was just saying, there, Sony is it's PlayStation's the lead platform. We know that because the last trailer that they was captured on
uh,
PS5. So, and if they're gonna call Rockstar up and say we're our next our next form factor, we're not going to have any disk drive. So I expect Rockstar to follow suit. They are partners. Everybody talks about Jim Ryan when he said, "I'm gonna shut up and let the games
uh,
do the talking." But if you ask people what was Jim Ryan talking about before he said, "I'm gonna shut up and let the games do the talking," they don't know. And what
hmm
he was talking about was Sony signing a partnership deal, not a basic handshake deal. We're going to open up a kiosk in your in your basement. This is a legitimate partnership where Sony said we want to sell consoles, and Rockstar said, well, we want to sell games. Let's shake hands and have a part. I mean, this is a true partnership. I think people have underestimated what he said because people were, I mean, again, rightfully so, I guess, because people were more excited about the PS5, that he was going to
hmm
show. But
yeah.
people just don't recall that. I'm thinking, okay, if you don't think, and even I think Moore's Law is dead was even saying that,
hmm
yeah, they alerted them. I mean, you got to, like, to me, it's just common sense. Like, okay, new form factor that they're already working on. I think I've heard multiple people say it's coming out in a couple, probably in 18 months, give or take. So it's like, okay, if we have the biggest form factor that's going to sell the biggest and have the biggest audience, here's what we're doing, so you don't have to produce any disc for it. It just makes sense to me. So,
hmm
you know, but
That's
maybe,
true.
yeah, but maybe Sony backtracks and they say, okay, you guys have played a bunch of games and y'all got all these trophies and hours in. We'll back off and do physical discs for you all. I mean, maybe they will do that. I guess it won't hurt to try, but I just think it's gonna fall on deaf
Well,
ears. But
let's okay, but let's say Sony, right? Let's
mhm.
say they backtrack.
Yeah,
Will third party backtrack? Will Rockstar backtrack? Will Microsoft backtrack? Will Nintendo backtrack? I mean, you see what I'm saying? This is an industry thing.
yeah, not based on
Industry
the
thing.
data. If the data is showing you 80, you said 85%, 85.
85 plus, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, then why would they back off? Because
But
they,
I will say this. I will say this, Craig.
mhm.
Gamers inherently have always been liars and frauds. It's just the truth. It's just the
Yeah.
truth, and I'll prove my point. Do you remember Japan Studio? Everybody cried and screamed and rolled on the floor when
Mhm.
Sony closed down Japan Studio.
Yeah.
But when you look at the sales of the games that Japan Studio made, nobody bought them.
Yeah.
That's just what that is. It just it was so sell. So sometime, especially us being in the content creator sphere and the
Mhm.
YouTube sphere and stuff like that, social media world is not real.
Yeah.
It's just not. It doesn't speak for the masses and the collective. Sometime it'll allow us to create videos and conversation,
That's
but
fun.
on the flip side, like for example, Sony Nishino said that Sony's going to continue on their trajectory with trying live service games. But
Facts.
the data
Facts.
show 90% of gamers play a live service game, some type of live service game. So
Mhm.
nobody's just sitting in the boardroom saying, "Hey, let's give these guys what they don't want."
Mhm.
Right? There is charts and there's graphs and there's data. There's actual data that shows after you get off a podcast, after you get off of Twitter yelling and screaming about something, you go and boot up a live service game. That's where you spend your money and your time. You're playing Call of Duty, you're playing Fortnite, you're playing I mean, pretty much all these, Madden and 2K and the rest of them, and you spend a lot of time there and a lot of money there.
Mhm.
And these guys are just trying to get in on that conversation, get in on that money, and get in on your time. That's just what that is. Now, you could say, yeah, but I don't want it from Sony. They can say, okay, well, it's fine. But until that data says, why will we stop trying to sell a hamburger to a person who loves burgers?
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
understood why
If
people.
Craig, if you
Yeah.
go to a burger joint every weekend, right? Every
Hmm.
Sunday after church,
Yep.
you go to a burger joint
Hmm.
and someone sees you, they're like, man, Craig really love them burgers.
Yeah.
Well, let me go over there and hand him a flyer to my burger joint.
Yeah.
And then you get mad and say, no, don't give me no flyer. I don't want your. It's like, yeah, but Craig, you eat burgers all the time, every Sunday like clockwork.
Yeah.
Now I can see the argument if you eat chicken every Sunday and someone brings a burger flyer or whatever, that would make perfect sense, right? Because the data is there that says you don't eat burgers, you eat chicken, but the data is there.
Yeah.
And I'm just putting it in like very rudimentary terms, a way of person thinking about this.
Yeah, no, that's the
And,
way.
and
That's the way we got to talk to them because they're they believe what I've observed is they believe
mhm,
that their reality goes past their castle, whereas that your reality is within your castle. But as soon as you leave your castle, reality sinks in. Not it. You should live in that reality, not the one you're bringing from your castle. And they
yeah,
don't. They actually do believe that because they play a bunch of games that they have a say, that loyalty
mhm,
is going to be rewarded. But when you have data, like you said, the data is what these companies consider the loyalty because they're paying analytical firms, either outside or their own internal group, to go get this data. That's why, like you just said about Nishino not backing
mhm,
off of live service. Now, the way they're going to approach it, this is my understanding, is they're going to bring back live service games that they already have assets on. So they are going to bring back
mhm,
the Last of Us. They're not going to change it. They're just going to just bring it back and say, yeah, here the servers are reactivated. You all go play. Now, the way you're going to access it is it will be free if you have premium, or is it PlayStation Premium or something like that? If you had the premium,
uh-huh,
yeah, if you have premium, you'll just be able to play it. But if you have plus, like me, like I have plus, I don't have the premium. So if I have plus, I will be charged $9 to play the game. So and then if I have, is it basic or whatever it is, the first tier, it's going to be maybe $14 or something like that. I'll still be able to play, but they're going to charge
yeah,
me for that because they're going to reward the higher tiered service. And with the
that's
goal,
true.
especially you have to remember Lenteo, I'm sorry, she said we want to get more, we want to move more people into this service. So if you do The Last of Us, and my understanding is going to be The Last of Us and Killzone that they're bringing
Yep.
back, and they're going to use the laid off Bungie workers, and because this Bungie shooters, again, what people, I don't play Bungie's games a whole lot, but from the people that I've talked to, that I've listened to, from Mooch and Blaze and all them, they said the shooting mechanic of the Bungie games is really good. So if you can bring
Yeah.
that, maybe that kind of mechanic to the or something, a modified mechanic, because I know each one of those games will play differently. They may be able to get it to work, but that way, that's a low risk, high reward. That's a low risk. Hey, we got the assets in house, we got the servers in house, everything is here. We have access to the
Mhm.
people to make the game and keep the game running. And then you could create, and then they're allegedly going to possibly create another company for just that. And it's just going to, all they're going to do is oversee the live service stuff, but of games that they already have that are proven that, you know about Killzone, you know about The Last of Us.
Mhm.
Maybe they bring back Mag, not Mag, Middle Aged Gamer Mag. Shout out to Mag, but there was a game called
Mhm.
Mag that had like 30 people, 30-man teams. This is back on the PS3. So, but that's what I've been told that they're looking to do, and that keeps them in live service. That brings back
Mhm.
games that a lot of people got upset about. But I just think, I can't say I just think, I know now based on what's being said that these guys and gals thought that their castled reality was actual reality, and it's not even close. Nobody cares about what Nobody cares about anything outside of your castle. Like they just don't
Yeah.
care. And it's
Yeah.
so for me, it's sad because I like everybody, right? And it's sad to see, for me personally, it's kind of sad to see that they are running. This is reality. The looks that people have on their faces, like
Hmm.
that shocked look. Like I said last week, I said you all going to get caught, humping your neighbor's cat, and that's exactly what just happened to you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just so I do feel bad, and I opened up with I said I was sorry that you all had to find out life isn't what you thought it was. I'm sorry that you found this out. The way you found out
Yeah.
is the way you found out. But I don't want them to say they didn't know about it because I know I told them for over a year and a half that Grand Theft Auto was going to be $100. I told them that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, why wouldn't it be? If the market, like you just said about the data, if the data is telling everybody that the game should cost $93.18, and Rockstar has spent $1 billion and their shareholders were not happy about those delays. So they basically were like, well, we want more points. We want more. And that's, they want more points on their investment. Oh, you want it? We could, if you came out on time, we would have taken 1.5 points. Now we want 3 points. So now the game is going to cost more, and they say, okay, well, we can charge J-Dub, they wanted to charge $100 to $129 for that game.
Yeah.
No cap. No, straight up
Yep.
facts. That's how much they wanted to
Yep.
charge, but Strauss was able to pull that back and give you that base version, that terrible base version. And then the shareholders came back and said, well, then we want one with everything, and you got to give us that 100 point. We got to get our
Yeah.
points back. Because we invested, you told us a year and a half ago that we were going to get a return. We based everything in that return mode. We didn't get the return. We took the hit financially in our pockets. Now now it's time for the consumer to take the hit. And that's exactly what they did to us.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Unbelievable. I mean, this is unreal. What is going on? Now, somebody's saying Mag had 250 players. So, all right, yeah, but again, you got to understand
250. Mag
256.
was 256. Yeah.
Okay, wow.
It
Well,
was 128 versus 128. Yeah.
okay,
And you
yeah,
played in clusters, I think of like 16 or whatever. It was, yeah. And
yeah,
that was my game.
yeah. I remember it was really popular. I had a 360, so I didn't play those games. But I mean, again, we're
Mm.
dealing with a group of people whose reality tells them that Kratos is the god of war when clearly it's Ares.
Mm.
and the theme of God of War is to get ready, to prepare. He literally is telling his son to get ready. Something is coming down the pipeline. You must be ready for this. And it's kind of like they
Mm.
played God of War, but they didn't listen to they didn't look at the overall arcing theme of God of War. So, because it's obvious to me based on
Yeah.
what they're saying, if they're being honest about what they're saying. And I'm seeing I mean, I don't know about you. I have seen some historical meltdowns with these guys just going crazy, saying we have to stop them.
Mm.
That's my favorite one of all. We have to stop them.
Hmm. Well, I mean, again, Craig, it just I understand it. I'm not. I don't have a dog in the fight.
Mhm.
I've been digital now all this generation and half of last generation, and it can't. I'll be honest. Most of us, digital gamers, that a lot of that just came from being lazy. I got tired of getting up and changing disc every time I wanted to play a game, and sometimes discs get lost and stuff like that, and couldn't find them, and it just and I think another big one was the game share. To being able to game share with my son, where if I buy a game or something like that, he got to download it and play it on his PS5. That
Mhm.
just kind of, on his PlayStation, that just kind of became the norm. And again, I get it for those collectors and the mom and pop brick and mortar stores and stuff like that. GameStop is definitely going to be affected, but
Yeah, which they've been trying. These major companies have been trying to kill
mhm,
GameStop for a decade and a half. They have been trying to kill
yeah,
them, and people got to remember if you get, well, I'm sure you get like the I mean, you probably get business magazines and stuff like that. I don't know which ones you read. I'm just assuming you do. I'm sure you see the top 100 companies that are going to close in the next 3 to 5 years. GameStop has been on that list for the last 3 years. That's so they've been trending that they're going to get hit anyway. Now they got them. They cut them out of the. And now it makes sense why I asked, because when I went to when they had that state of play and they showed Wolverine, after the state of play, I went to GameStop to reserve Wolverine. And when I got up there, I asked him about Grand Theft Auto, and he just made this face. Like the guy behind the counter made this face like, well, that game ain't never coming out. Like that's the way he said it. So and this was back then. This was a few weeks ago. So he knew then that there was something up. Because I could just tell by the way he said it, he didn't say it sarcastically. He had an attitude like, well, that game ain't never coming out. Because they didn't, the way it was going to be released, I bet they knew then that it was always going to be a digital release. I think that's what happened, and he couldn't say nothing. But I can't. Somebody said Gamefly too. Yeah, apparently, I guess that's a rental service. But that's, guys, it's not going to go out of business overnight. They're going to keep producing discs, and they're going to print enough discs that if the first run of discs runs, like Wolverine, if they run out of discs, they're going to print more discs and put them back in the store. They're not going to not do that. Now, God of War La Fé, that's different. There's no release. There's not even a release window yet. We just know it's next year. But it could be end of next year, closer to 28. And where they could just say, yeah, no. I mean, it could, and people should not, nobody should ever wake up now saying, well, they won't do. The people just need to say, yeah, if that's what they do, that's what they do. So I would anticipate God of War La Fé not getting a physical release. I would anticipate. Yeah. But that doesn't mean they won't do it. But don't wait.
No, I think if you ask me personally, I think when it comes to Sony, I think they'll finish this generation out with both digital and physical. I just think it's the next generation where they won't. And the reason behind that is because look at the date. They said this stuff doesn't take place until 2028. And so that's giving us a telltale sign of when the PS6 is going to drop.
Yeah, which is what they've been saying. And people have been, in my timeline, I can only speak for my timeline, saying that, well, they shouldn't do it. We don't need, I don't understand. Can you help me understand what people mean by we don't need this? Like somebody says, we don't need Helix. We don't need PS6. Have you seen that? And what, if you've seen it, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know either. That's why I'm like, I don't want to misinterpret it, because the way I interpret it is they don't want to go buy it because they can't afford it. Now, that's the way I interpret it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, and I will be happily to stand corrected. So, and I don't want to misinterpret it. Like Sophie on the screen is pointing like, no, don't do that. Don't do it. So this to me, it just sounds like, they can't afford it. So I don't want it to come out at all. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what I'm interpreting. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, I have no problem saying I was wrong about that. So, but I don't get it. It's just like they don't live in reality anymore. I know there's a suspension of belief when you play games, but it's still not the reality that you reel in. And somebody said Kratos kills Ares, that's why he's the God of War in game. I understand that, but the fact that Kratos understand who Ares is. If Ares puts the will to wage war in all creatures, man and beast. So the fact that Kratos still feels that he has to fight at all, means Ares is still there. Ares is the God of war because Kratos still wants to fight. And I'm saying this to the gentleman, and you're legitimately saying that's what happened in the game, and that's true. What you're saying is true. But in reality, based on the mythos of Ares, Kratos, as soon as Kratos killed him, there should be no more God of War games because the God of War died. The will to make war in man's hearts is gone. But Kratos is still fighting. Okay, and he's not fighting to survive, he's killing. You know, it's like they said on The Last of Us, we don't go and murder people, Ellie. We will survive, but we're not actively hunting people. So, and that's the lesson of The Last of Us Part 2 when Ellie let it go, because this was going to be a stone cold murder. You know, she sought this person out to kill them, not that she was trying to survive, which is why she sees Joel's face, because that's Joel's first lesson to her. If you play The Last of Us, that is Joel's first lesson to Ellie, is that we kill to survive, we don't kill just to kill people. So and so that's why that game was, for me personally, was so powerful. I'm like, wow, they came full circle. You know, even though they quote unquote killed the white guy. So,
Yeah.
but the guy in the chat, that's a great point. He says Kratos kills Ares, that's why he's the god of war in game. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. But the fact that Kratos fought, if you play God of War Ragnarok, he fought Thor. Well, if Ares is gone, then Thor would not even have showed up to fight anyway. You know, so that's how powerful Ares is in that mythos. So that's why I thought they were like, well, he killed Poseidon. Okay, I can give you Poseidon. But Zeus and Ares, nah, he ain't gonna, You know, he fought Hercules and nah. I mean, all right, I'll give him Hercules. Okay. But not no God of War. Nah, you can miss that. So, but yeah, so what do you think, Jada? All right, now let me ask you this. Based on what you know, and this is early, based on what you know about the PlayStation 6, and it's supposed to have ray tracing rivaling a 5090, blah, blah, blah. And this is according to early reports.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself getting one day one? Or do you see yourself getting one at all? That it doesn't matter if you get it day one, day 10,001. Is that something you would be interested in, to carry over a digital library? And do you think that Sony will do what they did? Because, and let me alert my audience to this. The default PlayStation Pro is digital. I'll say it again. The default PlayStation 5 Pro is digital. The CD is sold separate. It is an accessory. So it's like Jenna Hayes is in the chat here. Jenna will tell you, as a woman, that earrings aren't necessary to go out. They're an accessory. So again, it's not necessary for me to play any games on my PS5 digital through a disc, because it's a digital device. I'm the one who went out and bought the CD player, the DVD player, and struggled to put that thing on. It took me 20 minutes, J-Dub. I'm like, what? It's like, it looks so easy when they pop it off. I'm like, oh man, come on. Because people are like, it should just pop off. I said, but if I pop it off, do I violate the warranty? Because I'm like, is this covered under warranty? Because it's a Sony part that I'm putting on. But so I want the people in the chat to understand this. So I'll say it to you guys again, because I do believe you guys didn't know that the CD player that I have put on my PlayStation Pro is an accessory device. It didn't come with the device. That's why everybody complained about it. Like, we gotta pay for it. They're making us pay. They didn't make you pay for it because the device worked without it. I hope that the people in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Because if I can say it differently, I will try. All right, J-Dub, does that make sense what I said?
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you guys in the chat, again, when I bought my PlayStation 5 Pro, I had to order a DVD separate to put on my PlayStation 5 Pro, because my default Pro is digital. So they already did this right in front of you all, and you all are so effing stupid thinking that your reality is reality, and it's not. The reality was it's already been this way. And you all just are so clueless about your surroundings, because it's like Morpheus said to Neo, you all wake up and see the world, and you anticipate the world through what you're seeing. You're not using your other senses, like your hearing. This should be alerting you. This shit is not right what you all are going through.
Yeah.
You cannot make this shit up, Jada.
Yeah.
I mean, did you get a disc on yours, or did you buy the disc and put it on
So,
yours, or?
so I had originally at the generation launch,
Mhm.
I had the digital only,
Yeah.
and then later on I got the disc, and then I think I picked up maybe another one a console with a disc drive,
Hmm.
but that was pretty much it. And but I will say this: I do have a disc drive unopened. Um, I knew the prices and stuff was going to go up a couple of years ago, so I bought one to keep him a little storage for for future purposes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I've been digital for for a while. It's just
Yeah, which is
and
cool. It is convenient. When I went to get The Last of Us, when the PS5
hmm
version of The Last of Us came out, I ordered it physically at GameStop. Well, it hit.
hmm
We got a big old snowstorm that day, and GameStop did not open. So what did I do? I
hmm
ordered it digitally. I downloaded it and started playing it. Then 3 days later, GameStop called me and said, "Well, your Last of Us is up here ready to be picked up." I said, "Dude, I already ordered that digitally. I came up there to pick it up, but y'all were closed." And he said, "Well, we had
hmm
bad weather." I said, "That's fine. I'll come up there and cancel it and get something else." So I ended up getting something else. But
hmm
overall, that's when I switched. But yeah, my Cyberpunk is digital. The Resident Evil 9 is digital. Mafia 3, I just bought that for Days of Summer Day, whatever it's called, Days of Play Summer. I bought that. That's digital. My James Bond game that I play, that's physical. But that's it right now. That's it. And I got some physical games over there. Hitman's over there. Final Fantasy 13, I think that's still over, or 15, whatever it is. One of those Final Fantasies over there. So I haven't played it yet. So yeah, got the God of War games. I still had God of War 18, and I have God of War Ragnarok. I still had that physically, but yeah, you can download it off of Plus now. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. So, so somebody Darth Seth says that they were getting you ready when they released a digital version of OG PS5. Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
were. I mean, again, and the data clearly shows, like J Dub is saying, he's right. The data clearly shows that everybody's buying digital now. So I don't. I gotta agree with the fake outrage. But I want to make clear that everybody knew this was coming. It's okay to be upset. I'm not dismissing people being upset. Well, I am sort of, because you should have been able to see what was happening. But overall, I understand. Like J Dub was saying that there's physical. I'm a physical collector. But I've known for the last 3 years this was happening. So I'm the one that had to change. I'm like, if I don't change, I I go the way of the dodo bird. Like the guy said in Mass Effect 3, you adapt or you die. You have to adapt to what's going on around you, or you're gonna die. It's crazy. So, so
Exactly.
yeah, it's nuts, man. But you got anything else, bro?
Well, I will say this, Craig. Listen,
Yeah, I'm
man.
listening.
I get it for some people, for those 10%
Mm-hmm.
of the people who are physical only and the collectors and
Yeah.
GameStop and stuff like that. Craig, you're old enough to remember VHS tapes, right?
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember when the DVD player came out,
Yep.
and little by little they stopped making VHS tape.
Yep.
I just don't remember us, screaming and shaking our fists, being all angry
Yep.
that DVDs are taking over. We
Yeah.
we went and got a DVD player, and we starting our library of DVDs,
My mom
and
still
and the
watches
same,
hers. My mom still watches
yeah,
her VHS player, and it still works, and it's in her bedroom on her TV, and she watches Remington Steel.
yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah,
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, and then remember the beta. Remember the VHSs were
yep,
out, and then the
yep,
betas came out, and then the laser disc
yep,
came out. Remember
yep.
that?
Yeah. So I mean, it's unfortunate, but in a day and era of 2026,
Mm-hmm.
where everybody subscribes to 5 to 10 different streaming apps,
Yep.
where everybody owns, you can't even buy a TV that isn't a smart TV, right? Like
Right.
it's just the norm in these days. Where I mean, let's face it, digital has been a thing now for over 16, going on 17 years. I get it. It sucks. But man, I personally, just me, and maybe I'm an asshole, right? Maybe it's just me, man. I just, I think we got bigger fish to fry. Than I just think we got bigger issues, um,
I would agree with that.
to worry about than I don't know, man. I just keep saying speak with your wallets, but people don't want to. I don't know. Maybe be held accountable.
Well, you're right, but they've been socially engineered to complain. Speaking with your
Hmm.
wallet is exactly what they should do, but they can't. They go into this groupthink mode because that's the social engineering that they got exposed to. So they think, well, if we
Hmm.
all speak together, it's one voice will speak for many, not understanding that by the time they organize and speak together, things are already done. Like it's done.
Hmm.
They can't you can't change what's going to happen to you. So and this has
Hmm.
already been. I mean, if you're going to tell me that 80+%, 85% plus are buying digital, then there's no reason for me to listen to 15%. I mean, I'll entertain listening to you. I'll entertain it to be kind, but I'm not going to get two shits about what you say because you represent a shrinking part of the market. It sucks, but you were supposed to see that market shrinking and then make adjustments. I mean, I had to do it when I was buying my Marvel movies. I kept saying I can't
Hmm.
find these movies. I have to. I'm going to the store, the physical store, the big box store, and they don't have them. And I'm being told to go to Amazon. I'm being told to go into secondary markets. So I mean, and I was being told this years ago. So when I want to buy Project Hail Mary, and I can't find it anywhere. I can download it digitally. I can pay whatever $14 and download it, like you're saying, on my smart TV. But what if But I don't want to download it. I want to own the film. So what? So this is
Hmm.
already. I keep telling people in the next 60 months, there won't be any Blu-rays. I mean, I'm telling you right now, they will not. I believe there won't be any Blu-rays, which is going to hurt Sony and all those the Blu-ray committee because they have to keep that format alive. So I hope I'm wrong, but I'm preparing for life without Blu-rays, without 4K Blu-rays, which is another reason why I bought my DVD player for my PlayStation because I've already got a 4K Blu-ray player, but it's hooked onto my monitor in my bedroom. That's kind of use that as a default Blu-ray player, and I have my PlayStation Digital in there. So what's up,
Yeah.
Harry Tran? Somebody said they remember Laserdisc movie. Yeah, I still have 5 Laserdisc movies. That was like a big deal. Those movies cost $40 a pop. I've got Pumpkinhead, I've got Jaws, um,
Hmm.
I've got Amityville Horror. They didn't make a whole lot of those. I had Blue Thunder is the last one I was able to get my hands on. So I got four.
Hmm.
I got four. And Blue Thunder,
Okay. Okay.
I never opened Blue Thunder. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody said cassette
Yeah.
tapes used to collect for Walkmans. Yeah, I still have some. I found some
Yeah.
cassette tapes the other day. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
forgot I had these.
Hmm.
But our point is that we went from cassette tapes to DVDs, and nobody threw this. People it was a format switch. And yeah, at first cars were coming out. People were driving cars that had cassettes in them. Then slowly cars started showing up. They had DVDs in it, which means you had to get a DVD case and carry them. And now everything's digital. People don't carry DVD cases in their cars anymore. Now my mom does. She still listens to
CD.
the.
Yeah. CDs. We used to have the CD players in the cars and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
now all the new vehicles. I mean, probably, yeah, I can't remember the last time they produced a car that had a CD player in it.
Yeah,
It's just,
you have to order
it's
it.
evolution. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an evolutionary thing. My Tesla, my trucks, cars, they all have all the apps, the streaming apps in them.
Yeah.
YouTube, HBO, all of it. All of them have that. It has the Spotify. It has Apple Music and all that. It's just I hate to say it, guys, but this is on consumers. It's not. I get it. You want to say it's corporate greed, it's business, and this. It's like, listen, business functions off of data. They're not just, waking up one morning and saying they want to get rid of X, Y, and Z, right? And I'm pretty, yeah, is it gonna save them money? Absolutely, because they don't have to keep making things that nobody uses. And
Mhm.
so inherently that'll save them money, but they're only doing it because we don't buy it.
Yeah.
You can't get mad if they discontinue something that is not purchased. I get the principle, well, it should always be there and all this other stuff, but you've had so much time to tell them the opposite.
Yeah. And the data tells them what the data
Yeah.
points are telling them exactly what's going on. That's why I said your world isn't real to them. And to you all, their world isn't real to you. But because they're making things, their reality is going to always push back against your reality. It's like the movie Tenet.
Hmm.
Like the movie Tenet, the dominant entropy is with the people that create things. And the people in the movie, they were like, time flowing forward is natural, so it's the dominant entropy. But these other people from the future were trying to reverse that, and that's what you guys are trying to do. And it's kind of like you all can't do that. You don't.
Yeah.
All you can do is say, I don't like the direction and I'm not going to buy it. I think that's fine. But let me make this clear. Everybody who has said to you all, I'm not going to buy it, their channels are going to end, which I think is
Hmm.
fantastic. Yeah, I've said that before, that these channels need to go away. So if these guys switch over to PC, which I'm fully anticipating that a lot of people are going to be doing now, that's good because
So
that's the next thing I'm watching for. Go ahead, Jada. Actually, go ahead and talk a little bit. I'm gonna run. I gotta run to the door. Somebody's knocking on the door.
go ahead.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, yeah, if they do go to PC, then they're leaving one digital only feature for another digital only feature. So that makes literally no sense. Um, I don't get it. I mean, it's the fight against digital only versus physical. I mean, when the last time a PC game has had a disc, right? This has been more than a decade process. Like this, I don't know, man. I think, I think after a couple of days, people won't care. I think it won't. I think some of it is some fake outrage. Some of it, again, the game stops and stuff like that. I get it, man. They're gonna get hit hard, but they had to see this coming a long time ago. And if they didn't see this coming, then shame on them. You can't be in the business and not see trends. The last time I went to GameStop a couple of months ago, all they sold was Pokemon cards. They didn't even have like um, games and stuff on the shelf and stuff like that with advertising before. They had Pokemon cards and and clothing and hats and Nintendo cards and stuff like that. That's what they had in GameStop. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I just keep saying, man, listen, if you want to make a difference and you want physical to stay here, from here on out, you need to buy only physical, no digital. And that'll, because we got 2 years before all this stuff takes place.
Mhm.
If they see that trend going back towards physical, then they'll probably put a pause on it.
Yeah.
But,
I don't
but,
think they will. I don't. Yeah, I mean you're right. J Dub is right. I don't think they will because there's too much data, dominant data, going the other way. But he is right. If you just want to, and the pushback on Grand Theft Auto after the $100 shock was the fact
mhm.
that the people who collected physically were upset. That's why they're talking about a map. And I'm kind of like, all right, well, I got to admit, that is kind of effed up because all the GTAs that I've played have had a map in the thing. And guess what? It still may come with that. But more than likely, what they're going to do is you're going to download your map digitally anyway, like you would in real life with a
Mhm.
GPS. That's what they're going to do. That
Yeah,
it's crazy at this point. It's at
yeah.
GameStop. Yeah, GameStop. My GameStop where I live. Somebody's Harry Tran, shout out to him, saying GameStop sold toys. They sell computers now at my GameStop. They sell keyboards, they sell
Mhm.
mouses, they sell shirts, they sell toys. So GameStop saw this coming years ago and they modified their store. So this is
Yep,
so,
they
you know,
diversified.
yeah.
I was just telling you, Craig. I went into GameStop maybe a month ago or something like that, and
Mm-hmm.
they have the bulk of the store is the Pokemon trading cards and
Right.
and shirts
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like that, they don't have the shelves where they have the different sections with video games anymore. They just
Yeah.
don't.
And they have some card game that these kids are playing called Magic. So they actually have, at least at mine,
Yeah,
they have
Magic
these.
the Gathering,
Yeah,
probably.
Magic the
Yeah.
Gathering. Yeah, they have tables set up where people can come in, I guess, reserve a table, and
Hmm.
they play this game. I mean, I've gone. I mean, when I went to reserve Wolverine, that's what I saw them doing. I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
they've got some card game here now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand. I understand. Well, man, oh man, let me go in and
Mm-mm-mm.
I tell you what, I'm going to. I got to run to the pharmacy actually, but yeah, JW. Yeah, anything else
Cool.
to add? I mean, as far as a businessman and the what do you anticipate? Let me ask you this: PS6 comes out. What do you
Hmm.
anticipate it being able to do? And will it? Do you think it doesn't sell well? Do you think it has a lower adoption rate, and then it costs $1,000? I think it's going to cost close to. I think they're doing two models. Then they're going to do one with a smaller SSD in there, like the
Hmm.
800 gigabyte SSD, and they maybe can get it out the door for $799. Then I think they do a Big Daddy from Cincinnati, 1 terabyte, um, you know, drive that's going to cost either
Hmm.
$1,200 to $1,300. But what, based on what you're seeing, and is it something you would buy, or would you just say, you know what, I'll keep the computer bill that you have or something like that? So yeah, what do you think?
So he ordered the supplies he needed from Amazon Business.
Whoever
What?
that is, now somebody else is here, and they muted. Okay, now go ahead, J Dub. They muted.
Yeah.
I could not hear what they were talking
Yeah. I think it'll probably be a 1 terabyte drive.
about.
To keep the cost down. Price will probably drop around $7.99 or $7.99 at the most $8.99. That's just my take. But
Yeah,
that is if it would drop this year or next year and everything is still the way it is, I think that's what that cost is.
right.
Um, Now, as far as what features and all that stuff is going to come with, I don't know. I think it's going to have frame generation capabilities, obviously advanced ray tracing, pat tracing and stuff like that. It's going to have PSSR, probably version 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, whatever. Um, it'll have stuff like that. That's where I see it coming in at.
Yeah,
I
makes sense.
Yeah, I
What would
just
you pay for? Like, if you were in the room doing pricing, what would you charge
I'll
for
be
it?
honest.
Based,
I'm not the perfect candidate. Listen,
yeah,
I'm a gamer. It's a hobby. I
uh,
play golf. It's a hobby.
yeah.
I do my sim racing and flight simulator. Craig. It's an expensive hobby. I'm
Oh
not going to
yeah,
stop my
yeah,
hobby.
yeah.
Right?
Oh man,
It's just
hey,
it's a hobby. It's not mandatory. It's a hobby.
yeah. I'm still
Some
trying to
hobbies are
figure out.
expensive.
I'm still trying to figure out how to set up a DCS room where we can just do some fly time. Like I am struggling with that.
Yeah.
That is harder
Yeah.
to do.
No,
Like you got to create a
absolutely.
server and yeah. Because I've got I was going to pick up some, but I'm out of space. Like on my
Hmm.
drive, my F drive. I have
Yeah.
I still got two maps I can't put on. I got the Cola map, which is stunning.
Hmm.
The Cola map, and I have the Sinai map is kind of blah, but the Cola
Hmm.
map is that and that Persian Gulf map are fun. Those are
Hmm.
fun. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I've learned how to drop my laser guided bombs. I did not understand how that technique works. It's like a double technique, at least from the F-16. Now I got to learn it from the F-18. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, which is harder than it looks because it's a lot more button mashing going on up there with the F-18. But
Yeah.
yeah, I need to get back into
Yeah.
it.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, definitely get on it. But yeah, bro, I appreciate you stopping by. Giving that the gift of gab here to the audience. That I think hearing it, from you, somebody who's in business, the way you see it and the way it explained it, it definitely helped me. And hopefully it helped them. Because like I said before, there's a part of me that wants to really say, I told you so. But there's another part of me that's like, okay, well, maybe that's not the best tack to take it, for this morning, because it's still raw. Now, maybe next week when everything kind of settles down, it I can be a little more getting jiggy with it, kind of speak, kind of my vernacular. But yeah. Oh, what do you think about the studios that don't squeeze the Sharma maybe closing?
That's bad, man. It's bad. It's unfortunate Microsoft spent all that money buying up all that shit, and now they getting rid of it and forcing them to have to um pretty much try to sell themselves to another company.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what
I'm seeing now. So
yeah, me
yeah,
too.
it's a bad position to be in. And guess what, Craig? Not for fanboy reasons,
Mhm.
but we kind of said this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We said this was going to happen, man. It's just they could Microsoft could manage the Halo, Gears, and Forza studios.
Mhm.
How would they going to be able to manage Bethesda and everybody else? Like, we said it was going to happen. So
Yeah. Now, I've never understood why Halo I could understand because it had a beginning, middle, and end. Halo 1, 2, and 3. But
hmm
once I got to Halo 4, which I thought expanded on the universe nice, it was just it was clunky. But if you're
hmm
into the lore, that it really built upon the lore, and I did enjoy Halo 5 with Locke.
hmm
I did enjoy that, but I always thought the one that they knocked it out with was a Halo Reach. I think that's still one of the best
hmm
games I've played in the last 25 years. It was just a good game. So,
yeah.
but that was Bungie. So,
hmm
so
Yeah, you're right about that.
yeah, that was a Bungie game. Yeah, that game I enjoyed with Bungie. I'm like, oh, okay, these are the same guys that did Halo Reach when Witchcaller came out, when Destiny came out. Like, oh, these guys made Reach. That was a real good game. So I went ahead and got into it. But
Yeah, Craig, it's bad. Um, I hear that there's not a single studio that's above being cut or sold off.
yeah, yeah, I hope they're
So
wrong. I hope that that's not true.
yeah, yeah,
Because that's a lot of people
yeah,
losing their jobs. That's
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm not going to celebrate that. But I have heard. I'll break this news now. Blade could still be made. That rhyme. Blade could get pushed over to Sony Bend. Sony Bend is apparently trying to work something out where they get their hands on it and make a Blade game. So
Well, that or hand it over to Insomniac.
yeah, yeah. God, Insomniac wouldn't be able to make that game for 7 years if it's true about the X
Well,
Men game. If it's true
what
about the
they
X.
could do, Craig, because they work on two games at once. They work on like they're working on like what is the um they're working on a game. Uh, they're finished with Wolverine, but I think they're working on that Venom game
Yeah.
as well as a new Ratchet and Clank. So maybe if they can
Oh.
move Ratchet and Clank out the way, and you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to see. That's a big studio. I would love to see them. I would like to see Miles Morales get a full game and add Silk
hmm
to it. But they would have to age him up. He'd have to be 24 maybe, and then Silk could be 15 years old, somewhere around in that timeline. So,
Yeah.
yeah, because I think I think people will enjoy her as a Spider-Man, but Sony's got to do a
hmm
better sell job. I know they're making an animated series with Silk,
hmm
so we'll see if they can sell it. So somebody said Blade doesn't look good. Well, I mean they stopped production. They have not
Yeah.
really done anything on it, and that's why they're trying to move it. Because Marvel doesn't want that stink on you, and they don't want that stink on
Yeah.
you. So they want that game to be made. That's a cool character to license, but it's got to be made by the right people, because
Yeah.
that's hard. That's hard. That's a hard character to. It's a cool character, but it's hard to get that character right. But we'll see if they can get
hmm
it or not. I'm not here to say that are making part of something overarching. so to speak.
Hmm.
I think that could work as well. But they got way talented more people than me in the room kicking those
Hmm.
ideas. So I'll gladly wait and see exactly what they say. But bro, I appreciate you jumping up here. I know it's early where you at. Certainly glad you and your family doing well. And yeah, I'll look into getting some Wolfer Reserve down there. We'll have to. I'll ask a couple. Let's just say I'll make some calls. I'll just leave it there.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Definitely be
I
in touch.
appreciate that.
Yeah, and brother, you welcome up here anytime you want. You know that it's open door policy up here. So come on
Yeah,
up here and
absolutely.
express yourself. I appreciate you, man. They take it easy. Be
Appreciate it.
careful, man.
Take
Stay
it easy.
stay cool. Stay cool. I know it's hot.
Will do. Take it easy,
Take it
brother.
easy, bro. Yep. Okay, now who else is here in the room?
It's the brain. What's going on, Craig?
Oh, what's up, Brain? How you doing, brother? How you doing? How's your family doing?
Man, everybody's fine, man. Right now, I know you was. Excuse me. I know that you've been on for about an hour, but
Yeah. Oh, no, you
I
fine.
was.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was doing work, and I said, you know what? I got a little bit of a break right now from work,
Oh.
so I certainly wanted to come in.
Oh, yeah. Well, go ahead, man. What you got on your mind?
Man, actually, I really wanted to talk about or just speak upon, because I didn't catch all of you and J Dub's conversation regarding what Sony, how the way Sony is moving forward regarding to not being physical any longer. And I'll say this because I know I didn't say it on Porter Rock's podcast, but to me, the PlayStation 5 is going to be my last generation.
Okay.
Because of, it's like, all right, if I was if I didn't know any better, I would make the argument, say, hey, what's so bad about, having games that, having something digitally versus having something physical. But after my own experiences, whereas it's like, hey, you know what, if I, just because I buy something digitally doesn't outright make me own it. Whereas, hey, if Sony ever decided to, shut down their servers, or a third party decided to ever shut down their servers, which has happened in the past with me, regardless if I had the physical copy or not, then that's it. And it's like, well, wait a minute, am I actually buying a game, or is it like a long-term rental?
That's a license. You in essence just
Right.
buy a license to the game. It's
Right.
it's in your EULA or something like that. Like literally, and everybody skips over it. And literally everybody everybody scrolls down and they hit the check mark because they just want to go ahead and start playing. But what you're doing is you're basically just saying to them, number one, you're probably giving permission to have your data looked at. A lot of people are doing it. That's why, like, I mean, hell, I do it. That is why when I'm on Spotify, I will get a pop-up thing for tickets. If I'm listening to Linkin Park and I'm walking, all of a sudden I'll get it'll go beep beep, and it'll say Linkin Park will be in XYZ city on this day because I'm connected, through data points now. And it's just, that's all it is that we've all been doing. I want to make this clear. We've all been doing. We just scroll down, we hit that little check mark, and then we just start playing. And
Right.
but you need to understand. But nobody reads what they're checking off, and you're supposed to do that. It's not Sony or Microsoft or Apple or whoever, Google's fault that we don't do that. They assume that you're going to do it, but they also know most people will not do it. They know people won't do it, but you're just buying a license. So when I digitally ordered Grand Theft Auto 6, I am now waiting for them Rockstar to send me the code for me to start, and it'll come up on my PlayStation. No matter what I'm doing, my PlayStation is going to send me a message and say, you have a new message. And then that message, because I have a 2-factor sign in, that message will end up saying, Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto 6 for this amount of money is now preparing to download. Do you want to prepare? Like Kratos said to his son, do you want to prepare a download? I'll click yes. Then here comes my terms of service. Okay, that will come down next, and I will click yes again. Then the PlayStation will go ahead and check to see if I have enough space. And if I don't have enough space, it's going to push me somewhere else and say, you need to put more space. It's going to say that. But it's just people aren't, again, I truly believe, Brandon, you're a businessman. You got a family. You know that when you leave your castle, you're the king of your castle. What you say goes on. Okay, hey, don't do that. We're going to do this. Let's try that. That's your reality. But you know, as soon as you step outside, and you get into your car, you get your car out of the driveway, wherever you got it, on the side of the road. As soon as you do that, your reality ends, and then the new world takes over. The dominant entropy takes over. And if like I said before, I don't know if these guys woke up one morning and Puff the Magic Dragons washing their balls for them. I don't know, because that's not that's not reality. That is not reality. I mean, I was told that because somebody plays more games, they have more say. And the person that told me that don't even get paid to play. So how can you have more say when you're not even being sought after to play the games? Like, nobody's sponsoring you or me or anybody else to play these games. So it doesn't make any sense what's being said by these people. They just live, like I said, they live in delusion land. And in their land, that what they say actually matters. When I heard MBG yesterday, just going crazy, having a full-fledged blue pill feminine meltdown on and it's his podcast. He can melt down the way he wants, but I was like, Jesus, are men really like this? Do men act like this? But go ahead, what you got, brother? What you got? You said it's gonna be your last platform. That's cool. What are you just gonna stay on PC then? I know you got a pretty powerful rig,
Yeah. I'm gonna stay on PC. And I also bought my kids a Switch 2 this past Christmas, but they don't play it, so I may look either A, I may use that for myself, or B, I'll probably give that to my daughter once she turns 5, and also she can show that she can handle consoles or be responsible. But yeah, it's like, come on, guys, it's like, all right. To your point, and this is where MPG comes in there, because I didn't see it, but I can only imagine. It's like, all right, guys, we're at a point now, whereas if you don't like something, especially as a grown person, regardless if you're a grown man or a woman, but as a grown person, if you don't like something or you don't agree with something, you don't have to do it. As J-Dub said, there's nothing, these are hobbies. It's nothing mandatory. There's nothing mandatory about gaming that we absolutely have to do. It's just that the fact that we invest so much time and effort and money into it because we like it. And that is certainly true for myself. I've been gaming since I was 4 or 5 years old, and I still enjoy it. I don't enjoy it as much as I do because there has been a whole lot of changes. But then on the other hand, there is just so much entitlement as far as if Sony doesn't want to do physical disc any longer, hey, that's their decision. That's fine. If they want to charge $1,000 plus for whatever for their next console, or any console maker wants to do that, hey, that's absolutely on them. You don't have to buy it. Whatever they want to charge, that's their right, because that they're the maker of it. But it's also your right as a consumer to say, matter of fact, you should vote with your wallet. And I think that's more true, in today's time than in anything else, because than in any other period of time. Because to me, it is very clear that at the end of the day, all these corporations want is money, but it's not even about them even wanting money any longer, or even wanting a lot of it. They want all of the money by any means necessary. And this is where, you as a person, or we as people, need to vote with our wallets and say, enough is enough. And this is true for all of them. I don't care if it's Sony, I don't care if it's Microsoft, Valve, or Nintendo, or Apple, or whoever else. They all do it. But as far as, getting on soapboxes and complaining and being emotional, regardless if it's genuine, like, somebody genuinely feels this way, or they're just doing it for views, stop. Come on, guys. Like, it's like, I'm not against having discussions or anything like that, but as far as just having these crash outs and meltdowns because of current actions or decisions are being made, then vote with your wallet. If it's one thing that I know, being in business or just being a consumer, that that any company or any business respects. You know, at the end of the day, they all respect money, and if you take that money away from them,
Can I put
that's when you really get their attention.
Yeah, see, you're not all right. Well, let me make this clear. You're not wrong about what you just said. The issue they're running into is the social engineering that they've been exposed to doesn't tell them to do that. It tells them to jump online and complain. But you're not wrong. I mean, I'm making this clear. You are not wrong. They should vote with their wallets. But social engineering is telling them to jump online and complain and to expect results. The social engineering happened because the previous generations that I'm in, we pushed them to do that because we gave them everything that they should have had. They had MP3 players, they had they had cell phones, they had internet, they had GPS. All that was done to see what a generation of people would be like if you gave them everything, and they shit the bed with it. So the social engineering is telling them, well, let's go online and complain, but for every one customer that doesn't buy a PS6, which is perfectly fine, there's going to be 3 to do. That's just the number. It's a numbers game, and that's why. So what J-Dub was saying pretty much was that the numbers are telling Sony that this is going to work, and it's no different than when they created the atomic bomb. All the numbers were pointing to some type of energy exchange, which is going to lead to an explosion. Now, they didn't know what kind of explosion. They didn't know how big it was going to be. They didn't even know how far back to stay. It was all quantum. It was just, they guessed it was quantum mechanics. So, so that's where we're at with this right now, is a group of people who don't have the social skills. They need to make the change. And for me personally, what I'm saying, I'm speaking for myself here because I'm in my own castle here. That's why they're so goddamn frustrated. Is because they see it's happening, but they're powerless to stop it. But the best way to stop it is what you said, is to vote with your wallet. But it's not going to matter because the dominant group, the dominant entropy group, is digital. So it doesn't matter because I'm a physical guy. You know that I'm physical boy. But I knew I was in trouble when I went to the store to buy some movies, to buy some Marvel movies, and I had to go to like 4 stores and to just find 2 movies. I mean, generally I can walk into Best Buy, they're there on the kiosk. I'm in there for 2 minutes, I get them and I'm out. And I was having to walk around Best Buy for almost 20 minutes. I finally got somebody's attention. Like, where are all your Blu-ray movies or your 4K movies? Oh, we don't have them anymore. You got to go online. Or you can go to Target, or you can go to Walmart, you can go to Meijer. And I ended up at all 4 of those stores just to end up with 1 movie. So it took me an hour and a half just to get 1 movie. But you're not wrong what you're saying. I agree 100%. But when you're dealing with a group of people who don't have that skill set, that's going to lead them to being frustrated and having these absolute emotional meltdown. I mean, I've never seen meltdowns like this ever. But if you live in fake land and you get up in the morning, you think Puff the Magic Dragon's going to wash your nuts, then of course you're going to be upset and frustrated. Oh, they want to know how many physical games you have on PC. Somebody's asking.
Oh, I have 0 physical games on PC, but the issue with PC is that this is nothing. Valve been doing this, I want to say, going back to 2004. So at least with Valve, I don't want to say that they absolutely started this, or once they became the Steam store was set up, it was immediately set up that way. But what I am saying, and I know I think I know what the person is getting into. So on my PC, or at least my current PC, I don't have any physical games on PC because nothing. Excuse my language. I didn't mean to curse, but there aren't any PCs. Don't even sell the CD drives or the DVD drives or the Blu-ray drives any longer, unless you want to get that as an attachment, which to me is pointless. So the answer to that question is 0. My issue is with Sony, and this could be arguable, but from my perspective, there wasn't really any true build-up to I even make the argument that there wasn't any real true build up to this, and or B, that hey, even though 2028 is 2 years off, and I'm not really thinking about 2028, but just to all of a sudden say, hey, all games that are now going through Sony, that will be sold on the PlayStation going to be digital, and this is the real issue that I have. When digital games, when both Sony and Microsoft were selling digital games on their digital storefronts, we were told, or at least I'm gonna speak for myself. I remember being told that, or at least being advertised that, hey, digital games should be cheaper than physical copies because of you're cutting out the middleman. You don't gotta take into consideration manufacturing costs as far as with the plastic boxes or even with the not CDs, with the DVDs or with the Blu-ray drives, depending if it was the 7th generation with the 360 and the PlayStation 3, or even the 8th and 9th with the Blu-rays, with the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Ones and the Xbox Series generations, respectively. But what you have found, or at least what I have found, was that Sony, because that's what I have. I have a PlayStation 5 Pro. So Sony's sales, not to say that they don't have sales, but their games, their digital games, generally always cost more than the physical copies, and that's the issue that I really have with things going digital. Because I never thought that the storefronts, Sony, I can't speak for Microsoft, but at least Sony, they have ever met that. I don't want to call it a promise, but they have never met that criteria of digital games always being cheaper than physical. Whereas physical, most of the time, what I find, not saying all the time, I'm saying most of the time, it's still cheaper. So to me, that's the issue that I have. And then of course, if Sony, if all of its games are going to be digital, what's to stop them from monopolizing and them just charging whatever it is that they want? Now, granted, yes, Rockstar, charging $80-$100 for Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, they set that in motion more so on the $100 side of things. They definitely did. But what's to stop Sony from saying, hey, that they have less competition and they want more money, and it's all about getting your money? Hey, what's to stop them from charging more? From charging more.
Well, what should the games cost? That's where you start, because you remember you gotta have a starting point. So what is the market? What is the independent market come back and told everybody how much games should cost? That's where you start. So what do you think that number is? What do you think that market number is?
So it's not a rhetorical question.
No, it's not a trap. It's not a trap, Brame. It's not a trap question. That's why I'm asking.
No. I'm actually, I would state, since the norm right now is $70, that's where it should start.
Okay, it should start at $92.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So Rockstar, and again, do you remember? Well, you remember when Sony introduced the PS5, right? And Jim Ryan came out and said, "I'm going to shut up and let the games do the talking," and everybody concentrates on that. Do you remember what he was talking about before he said that? So Jim
what's the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you remember when PS5 was revealed? When Jim Ryan said, "I'm going to shut up and let the games do the talking." All right. Do you remember what he was talking about before he said, "I'm going to shut up and let the games do the talking"?
No.
Okay. He was talking about their partnership with Rockstar Games. And so people got to understand, there's not a doubt in my mind that Sony indicated to Rockstar Games months ago that they were going to go all digital. And that's why Rockstar Games, and again, remember, Rockstar is developing Grand Theft Auto 5 or Grand Theft Auto 6, I'm sorry, with Sony's platform in mind. They are the lead.
That's the base.
Yeah, they're the lead platform. So they're going to know exactly what the other one is doing. But the base where the game should cost is about $92.22 or $92.18. So Rockstar's shareholders wanted a $100 game. I knew that already because I actually taught the people that do stocks and stuff, and you do too as well. But they're the ones who indicated to me that game is going to cost at least $100 because that's what the shareholders want. Because remember, it was delayed not once but twice. And each time they take a delay, they're taking less money. The shareholders are now like, okay, you know that. You're a shareholder in things. So you're going to take less money. And that's fine, but you're going to come back, Brain, and tell me what? Craig, okay, you're going to delay my pocket. Okay, that's cool, but instead of me getting 1 point, I want 1.5 points. And then I come back to you and say, Brain, that 1.5 points, we got to delay it again. But we're developing some really cool stuff, and I show it to you this time. You can, okay, fair enough. This is cool stuff. You're going to hit my wallet. But so now I want 2 points. So each time, so you're getting more on the back end because you're taking less up front because I'm supposed to give you the money up front. And that's where we're at with Rockstar Games. They simply did it first. And remember what everybody has said. Sony is marketing this game like it's a first party game. We all see it. We all see what they're doing.
Yeah.
So this is what's going to happen. That's why I said that's why I took the God of War Lafe bet with Chill Will. Because I'm like, they're raising the price of their games. So it's going to happen. So I'm on the $80 line. And I put that poll in and I said, or have you all accepted that you're going to be paying more for your games in the future? And most people are saying, yes, they've accepted it. That's the first step for them because they have to learn that their reality isn't the reality. But to answer your question, Sony's not going to ask you for more because if they ask you for more, all their games would be $100. That would be more than the market is telling them to charge. That could be a sign of anti-consumerism. But if they stay on the $80 line and they fluctuate, $80 for the standard, which we know is going to have nothing but bullshit. Do you agree with me that version of Grand Theft Auto that's the standard version, that is complete bullshit. There's nothing there. Or
it definitely doesn't have. It's missing a lot of the cool stuff that the Ultimate Edition has.
Yeah. So now imagine God of War Lafe coming out with a standard version, $80, and she just gets the standard stuff that like we saw during that demo because we all watched the demo. But then in the deluxe version where her outfit was tan, now you can have a tan one, a blue one, or a green one. Now, now she can have a different bow in her hair. Instead of having the green one I think she had, now she has green, blue, and orange. And now the armor that she put on in the video when they show her getting the armor, instead of it being that base armor, she'll get in the standard. In the deluxe version, you'll get that version, a black version, what are the ebony version that Kratos has. You get something like that, and then maybe a dark blue version or a green version. And so they're going to push you. They're going to say everything that you want cosmetically is on this line. So, and that's how they charge you more. So, but you get more. They're like, oh, we're giving you all this stuff though. This is all cosmetic stuff. And then maybe you unlock it. Maybe, because Sony could also say, well, you can get it now, you get it later, you unlock it during the game, or you may play through and never unlock it. So it's, because that happens to me. I know with Stellar Blade, she had 60 outfits or something like that. I unlocked maybe 24 of them. I mean, she looked great in all of them, but but ultimately, so I understand your point. It's just, I think people, it is a good question because what's going to stop them? Well, what is the price point to ask in the beginning? And the price point is actually, it's roughly almost $100 for these games. They've been subsidizing us. We've been on the EBT card for gaming, and the EBT card's over. No more EBT card gaming for us. Okay.
So by you saying that, because that I did not know. Mm-hmm. So that makes me wonder, because I do remember back in the '90s when cartridges, games costing a lot, especially if a game like Donkey Kong Country or Mortal Kombat 3, because they had more megabits, depending on how many megabits I forget, megabits or megabytes a cartridge had in it, the more it actually cost. And then when the original Sony, when the original PlayStation and Sega Saturn, when they came out, I remember games being $50, and then games went from 50 to 60 during the 360 era to, or maybe the original Xbox era as well, but and then of course $70 to $80 where we at today. So that makes me wonder: has games, going back to the original PlayStation, because you bring up a point that I didn't even know, but does that mean that we were always subsidized for about the past 30 years, approximately.
Yeah, and the subsidy is a tax break. That company, gets a tax break, and they pass a tax break to the consumer to spur consumer spending. It's been like that since since the inflation crisis in the mid 70s. Yeah, back it was when it was awful. People think inflation's bad now. This is nothing compared to 73, 74, 75, stuff like that. So there were people lined up for gas. Like you see on TV shows, there were people literally lined up for gas. You couldn't cut your grass. I remember my dad couldn't cut the grass until till Saturdays. He could only cut it on Saturdays because they were what was going on with the gasoline. But yeah, we've all participated. I'm not making fun of it. We've all participated in the EBT gaming because we've all been subsidized. Right. They're not subsidizing anymore. They can't afford it. Like the administration came out and said we can no longer afford these subsidies anymore. That's why they're cutting off the food stamps and the EBT cards and that's why they're doing it. Well, we're getting subsidized through gaming, and they're no longer going to do it. So we're gonna be paying what would be called market value. There ain't no more Section 8 gaming. Section 8 over for gaming. Okay, you're gonna have to pay, you're gonna pay market. We're gonna pay market prices, and that's reality. That is reality. So
that's reality, and the market is volatile.
Correct. The market is in flux. You are exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So then the real question. So then the real question then becomes, how much as an individual are you willing to pay? Or what's your threshold? That's the real question.
Yep, which is what J-Dub was saying, to vote with your wallet, which he's right. He is right. Which brings us right back to what you said and what I said, which is you are correct to vote. You said the same thing. Vote with your wallet. But these guys have been socially engineered to go online and complain, not to vote with their wallets, but to complain to try to put pressure on the company. But the company is looking at data points that goes directly of where you're sitting. So yes, you can complain, but it's going to fall on deaf ears. That's that's all. That's why it's silly for you to complain. However, I also have to acknowledge the social engineering that has took place generationally, and now you're doing exactly what you've been socially engineered to do, which is throw a bitch fit. And that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. And it'll calm down in the next week. Next week they'll move on to something else, and something else will be getting ripped to shreds. So that's the way they've been socially wired. So yeah, good question.
I enjoy coming on. I'm actually now I'm looking at a different screen and I see some comments, but I do enjoy this being able to come on your podcast, regardless if we agree with each other or not, just because of the fact that I don't want to make comparisons, but it goes beyond gaming. It relates to gaming, but then it also goes to it overlaps with economics. Yeah, economics, for example. So I definitely appreciate that. And I don't want to make no comparisons between this podcast and Porter Rock podcast, because certainly both podcasts have their have their places, and I enjoy both podcasts. It's just that when when it's 14, we look like the Brady Bunch and it's or Wu-Tang Clan, it's hard to get points across.
Fair enough. Well, I've always said that grown-ass men should be able to agree and be able to agree to disagree without being disagreeable, and go out and have a glass of bourbon or whiskey afterwards and laugh about it. But when you're dealing with a group of people, and this is on me as well, I did not realize the level of social engineering that had been put place. And it's like, okay, now this is making sense what you all are saying, because to me it makes no sense. If you believe the world is what you're seeing when you walk out of your house, it's not. You're in a dominant entropy world at that point, and and so now it makes sense when people were saying, well, we don't need PS6. What they were saying was, I can't afford PS6, so Sony shouldn't make it. That's what they meant by that. Now that makes sense to me. And it's kind of like, no, just because you can't afford it doesn't mean the brain can't afford it, or Porter Rock can't afford it, or I can't afford it. You know, so you have to speak for yourself, but they're trying to speak for people
for
outside,
everybody else,
for outside their castle, and that's bullshit. I will tell you to your face, that's bullshit. You can speak for yourself, and every man is an owl into his own. You can speak for yourself, and you know if you got a wife and children, you now speak for them too. But overall, the way a grown man spends money, to me, this is me, I'm not putting you in this, disclaimer. If you are a grown man policing another grown man's pockets, you got hole in you. I mean, that's all I can really say. You got hole in you. I mean, that's you know, I've never seen anything like it before. It's like, well, if another man complains or another man puts his head at night, where are you? You know, are you gay? Why do you care where another man lays his head? So, but that's generational. That is generational. This generation's social engineering says, well, they can critique people to do that. Why do you care? You know, so but no, I don't understand. Like I said, they got some dudes out here that are just feminine. You know, I'm not buying this. Okay, that sounds like my girlfriend getting upset at the cost of her shoes. I'm not going to pay for that. Okay, well then don't buy it.
Don't pay for it. Don't buy it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right. You know, I'll say this. This is one thing that I live by, because I'm fine with people complaining, but you got to be able to do something about it. Whereas don't complain for the sake of just complaining. Whereas to me, that's what makes it unacceptable. At least for me.
I agree. If you're not going to put foot to ass and shut your mouth, I agree. But I've been saying that for years. Hey, look, if you're not willing to do anything about it, then you just need to shut up. But the way they do something about it is to go online and complain. That's a social engineering. My generation, we would burn shit down. That's what my generation did. We're coming out of the civil rights generation. We took action. You know, oh, this happened to that person. This store's getting burnt down. You know, but and now this generation, what do? They show up at the store, but they protest. So they yell and scream. That's social engineering. Okay, that's a change. And again, it happened to the people online as well, because it's like, well, yeah, J-Dub is right, and Brain, you're right. Vote with your wallet. You know, you either, or get out the ecosystem. I've been saying that for a while. If it's hurting you that bad, then why are you here? But the reason they're here is because of social engineering has taught them that by complaining, they'll change something. When by complaining, all they're doing is getting on everybody's nerves. And that's the kind of what you said. You got to put it into action. Well,
and you, my fault. I'll cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head a little bit earlier, and but you just described it without actually seeing the word. It's entitlement.
Yeah.
People, it's entitlement. It's like the same way. You are not entitled to anything. Yeah. You're just not. I'm not your generation. To me, it sounds like you're either. I want to say you sound like a Gen Xer to me. Whereas I'm a millennial or very early millennial. But I was always of the opinion, or not even opinion. Experience actually taught me this. If it's anything that I want, I have to go out and go get it. I got to earn it, because anything that's given to me can be taken away. That's how I learned. And I just apply that across life, period. I don't want anybody just to give me anything for free, just because of the fact that, well, number one, nothing in life is really free, and then two, I actually want to go out and earn it, because to me that's just character building. But without going on a tangent, I do agree with you. It's like there's just too much entitlement. Again, going back to voting with your wallet. Sony, no company is entitled. No, matter of fact, no one is really entitled to your money. Taxes, that's a different story. Yeah. But no one is really no company is entitled to your money. Yeah. Just the same way, like you're not entitled to get whatever conveniences, and I'm gonna call it conveniences because I can't think of a better word. Whatever conveniences or pleasures or conveniences and pleasures that you think you're supposed to have. To me, it's almost, I don't want to call it a privilege, but it's underneath that umbrella. No, it's like, hey, this isn't mandatory. You don't have to have it, and you're not entitled to it. Hey, it's if somebody's doing something or these companies are engaging in practices that you don't agree with, hey, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. Vote with your wallet.
Yeah. I mean, when I heard MBG saying that Sony forced me to go buy a CD player, it's like, no, they didn't.
No, they did not.
No, I mean, because I got a CD player with my PlayStation, because the default PlayStation 5 Pro is digital. The CD player is an accessory. So you don't have to have the CD player to play the games. I mean, it's good to have as an option, but you don't. I mean, and I understand if you got 50 games or 150 games you're gonna probably get the CD player. Well, they do that too, but they also knew the majority of people weren't buying physical games; they were buying digital games. So it's like you cater to the majority, the dominant entropy. You cater to that. You don't cater to the minority. I mean, we're both black men. We know we're not being catered to. We know that. So we know, we know that firsthand. I mean, on the real, let's keep it 100%. We both know that. So and we've had to grow up and understand that, hey, it ain't gonna go our way because we don't have the numbers. So we have to do different things. And you guys that are in the minority with the gaming, you guys are just gonna have to learn different ways to get past it. If you don't, you're gonna go crazy, have an MBG meltdown, and then you're gonna end up leaving the ecosystem like he claims he's doing. So for everybody that's saying they're not getting PS6, stop listening to those people. Unsub from them because they're not going to, hey, look, you said you weren't going to buy one. So there's no
They're not being truthful.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, well, and that's what J-Dub was saying, that these people are pathological liars. So yeah, I mean, he's not wrong about that either. So, but we'll see. So.
No, and it's kind of funny because it kind of goes back to a question that that I see that somebody asked me regarding Sony being digital, whereas this is what I think, or this is what I recall. So when you said that most people buy digitally anyway, now that I did not know, and the reason why I did not know that is for two reasons. Number one, when they do like the what is it called, the NBD, like the sales of the how many sales of games happened, within a particular time period, like either not annual, either annually. I know annually is NBD, or from a monthly time basis. I mean, or a monthly or from a monthly standpoint. From what I can recall, I want to say that those sales only include physical copies anyway. They don't. I want to say that they never include, not never, but generally they don't include, digital sales, because there will always be an asterisk that states that these only physical sales. So to me, that implies that if I'm only seeing physical copy sales and this is what's being reported, then that implies to me that the physical, that the digital sales are not important enough that they weren't even reported in the first place. So that's where I at least that's my mindset. That's my perspective as to always thinking that for them just to get rid of physical, they're getting rid of the market. But if what you're saying is true, that it's just that there are more sales digitally anyway, then okay, it kind of makes sense. Even though I still hold the same position that I stated a little bit earlier regarding the physical. And then secondly, these news outlets, and even to a certain degree, some of these pundits, and I'm gonna call them pundits because to me they're not really journalists. Like to me, for example, MBG, I would consider him a pundit.
Yeah.
Then as far as with the like your IGNs or any other major news publication, then to me then that really calls into question the way that they report, because they're not reporting objectively. And I know I said it. This is maybe my first time saying it on your, matter of fact, it is my first time saying it on your podcast, because I've only been on your podcast twice. But I know I said it multiple times on Porter Rock's podcast, as far as, hey, these gaming journalists, they are not objective. They're acting more like pundits. Whereas to me, I have an issue with that, because they're supposed to be reporting on facts. I don't care what they feel or how they feel, because that's not what they're here to do, or at least that's not what they're presenting themselves as. They're presenting themselves as professionals. Whereas with pundits, Of course, yeah, there's more wiggle room with them, but I also call them out as well. And an example of that would be MPG because of, to your point and to J Dub's point, as far as calling them liar, they're not truthful. Yeah, to me, MPG falls into that category because of, I remember when MPG used to be he used to be a straight Xbox guy, and then I guess somewhere between 2019 and 2020 when it was COVID, he became a straight PlayStation person. It's like, and to me, I know it's for engagement. Ultimately, it's for engagement, and it's also ultimately for views. But generally, I'm wary of people that does that because it's like, hey man, you're just jumping the fence to just it's yes. At the end of the day, yeah, you want to get paid, but you're doing it by any means necessary, even if it's disingenuous. And when I see people like that to me that's disingenuous because you can't say for X amount of years. PlayStation or even Xbox, and then all of a sudden switch sides. To me, it's like, well, which one is it? Yeah. You have the choice to like whatever it is that you like, but are you actually doing it because you genuinely like this company or genuinely dislike this company, or are you doing it because you're just trying to, get more engagement or more views?
Yeah, no, I
that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some nefariousness going on because their goal isn't to isn't to tell the truth. Like somebody said, the goal isn't to be right. The goal is to be first. And then set an agenda. And then if you're wrong, you just say, "Oh well, big deal." Their goal is just to bring eyes over. So yeah, they are acting more as pundits. So yeah, that's true. But Brad, I gotta go. I'm gonna jump off here because I had to run to the pharmacy, and it's already 90 degrees outside. I just totally lost track here. So
yeah, take it easy. I don't know how hot it's going to be in Kentucky, but I know here in the Philadelphia area, it's going to be like 102, 104 degrees. So take it easy, man.
Yeah, we have an excessive heat warning that's about to kick in like 30 more minutes. It says it feels like it's 101. My God! So all right, I gotta go and get this stuff. So all right, then, man. I'll talk to you. I appreciate you jumping on, though, bro. You're welcome anytime.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, I'm gonna get on off here. I do have to run to the store. I literally just lost track of time, and I'm sitting up here. I woke up. It was 80 degrees, and now it's 88. And it said it feels like it's 101. So yeah, your boy's about to go out there and just turn into a giant dark puddle. So all right, then. I appreciate you all being here. I'm gonna close the poll off now. Let's see here. Let me shut the poll down. So 75% of y'all that have voted, there's been over 50 votes. Shout out to everybody that voted. You all have voted that you all understand that you're going to be there. You've accepted that Sony's new games will be more expensive in the future. Okay, so that's the first step is you have to learn that you're going to be paying more. And as long as you start accepting that you're going to be paying more, you won't be shocked by what happens in the future because you'll be saying, "Oh yeah, I was already preparing to pay more." So yeah, it looks like that's what's going to happen. All right, guys, I'm a bounce. I do appreciate you all being here. And it was early. You all definitely had other places you could go. I do appreciate it. Shout out to 60 Frames No Lag. We may go live tomorrow. I don't know. I'm trying to get them to do it tonight, but I think Crossfire's tonight. So. But yeah, so that's the way it's going to go. But I appreciate you guys being here, and you all have a good rest of the day. And remember, just enjoy yourself. Stay cool out there. It is dangerously hot. Deuces.